Hi, besties.
What is up, everybody?
It is Monday. We are back. Let's see who's in the chat. Let us know who's here.
Let's go.
I've gotten exciting news from DC is that there is definitely a super chat option available to you now. So get those in. Let's do it. I'm excited to see what that looks like. I just want to know. So I thought I was gonna wear these glasses, so I didn't do my makeup at all, but they're very shiny and they're just distracting me. So I think this is like just gonna be what it is. So it's cool. It's my monster face, guys. No worries. It's all right. It's still me. It's Amanda.
All good.
It's also DC Hendricks. How are you?
I am doing awesome. What a fire Monday Night Raw we had tonight.
Right?
I ain't gonna be able to go to bed though. I might have some nightmares after the ending.
I
That
know.
was very well done. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Like tonight's episode was one of the best episodes of Raw in a very long time.
Thank you. I agree. I thought it was so good.
Yes.
So good. Okay, should we jump right in?
You said it like you were shocked or like that. Was there hate or something? Did you see people hating on this show tonight?
Okay, so I will tell you that my phone was like dying, so I like scrolled real quick on Twitter and there was like some shenanigans where I just saw I saw brief hateration and then my phone died and I was like, I'm not good at kind of like filtering other people's opinions. So what's funny about this show is genuinely like I write about the show, no joke, up until the minute I like ask DC, it's Amanda's late trying to figure this out, and like
she
I don't
gets
know.
On, she's like, hold on, DC.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta like figure out how to finish this up. So I don't ever have necessarily like the context of the zeitgeist, which I do think sometimes is kind of not necessarily important, but ends up becoming determinate in a way, right? Like depending on what other people say is how things go. So I wouldn't say I saw like anyone who isn't normally a hater hating on it, right? Like it's like the same kind of like impossible to please people. So that was but it was brief. I was just like, oh, what?
I just don't know any human being that actually watched Monday Night Raw tonight and has anything negative to say about it. Like, there's no way. Like, it literally started off with fire.
Yes.
Like, I mean, come on, people.
Yes.
I mean,
literal
let's
fire.
Go. Out of nowhere.
I was so excited to see him back. And I didn't actually think, not that I didn't think I would care, but I didn't necessarily think I would pop as much as I did, right? So like it was his music. I'm like, oh, got so excited. My friend's here. My bestie's back.
If you missed Rollins, Seth Rollins is freaking back.
Yes.
And take it a step further. Seth Rollins comes out and says, look, I want to be the best. In order to be the best, I need my belt back that I built. Damian Priest comes out, interrupts him. Obviously, El Campeon comes out and says, look, this is my show now. You want a title shot? Is that what you're saying? We could do this right here, right now. We could do it at Money in the Bank. And Seth's like, do you really want to do that? Like, don't fuck up. Because if you really want to do that, I'm going to have to take that belt off of you. Very quickly, we already have Money in the Bank title match between Seth freaking Rollins and Damian Priest. And that's how Raw started. I mean, what more could you ask for?
So good. That was good. It was a fun way to start the show. And it was also, there's not a lot of time between now and Money in the Bank. So it was actually a very exciting thing to just have immediately, like that's on the card right away. So now every time we're framing these contexts about the show, you have those ladder matches, but you also have this like big title match too. So that was exciting. Damian Priest went through it tonight. Don't you think? I feel like he had a lot on his plate. There was a lot going on. I think the other thing that I don't know. There's too many things. Everything was my most best. Everything was the best of the best.
Yeah, there's tons.
To be honest. I guess my least best isn't really a least. It's just like the thing I was least obsessed with is like there's still the Liv and Dominic storyline, which is still really fun. There's nothing that's like bad about it. That developed tonight though too. Yeah, I know. I didn't even do my eyebrows. That's why. That's how this happened. Yes. You missed the monster face first part of the reveal. So similarly to the Uncle Howdy faction, I have revealed my monster face, and now we all know. It's okay. Poppin', don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people. Okay. So, tonight's Raw, Jeffrey also loved it.
Fire.
There's so much to talk about. What should we talk about first?
Yeah, like I guess I'll continue with
like,
yeah, what you were talking about with Damien. Like, poor dude is like babysitter slash dad slash uncle slash big brother slash, like, dude is literally going through it with his Judgment Day right now. Like, he's trying to babysit all those boys, and like Carlitos, like, I mean, he picked up a big win over Dragon Lee, I guess. So I guess the Judgment Day got a dub tonight, I guess, finally, after so long.
Yeah.
Poor Damien's going through it. He can't even enjoy his title reign because he's so busy babysitting Dominic, trying to stop him from messing with these crazy girls like an uncle or a brother or something. And then watching Finn, because Finn's going crazy, doing weird stuff. He got Big Head. You never know what he's going to do. JD McDonough at any moment.
Exactly.
You got Carlito, who's just making a mess out of the group. Like, Damien is going through it. He's going through it right now. Poor Damien. It was a rough night for him.
It was a rough night for Damian Priest. It was also a rough night for Drew McIntyre.
Wow.
So that's one of these. Okay, so this is my favorite part of wrestling, and this is why I'm so excited, and this is why I think I love tonight's show so much, is that my very favorite thing is when, like, I am one of those people who loves to get worked. I am one of those people who can view this with a childlike wonder. And even though I'm like, pretty sure this is a storyline, there was very real and compelling emotion behind what happened. So if you haven't seen it, Drew McIntyre came out to the ring. They did show we haven't even talked about Clash yet.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, well, anyway, he got screwed, basically, right? I mean, it depends how you want to look at it. There's
in case anyone missed it, Drew McIntyre was getting ready to get the dub at Clash at the Castle. The ref gets knocked out, and it's like a 10 count. And then all of a sudden, a replacement ref comes out. You can't see who it is. And then the ref comes out, 1, 2, and then stops. And Drew's like, what the hell you doing, dog? And then it shows CM Punk there as the referee. And CM Punk screws Drew McIntyre once again. Damian Priest picks up the dub. So Drew McIntyre comes out tonight, as Amanda Savage said, and says, I can't do this no more. I quit.
Screw this company. Yeah.
And leaves.
I missed the screw this company the first time. I had to rewatch it because I was like, I want to make sure I type what he said. And then I was like, oh, he said screw this company. That's kind of fun. Yeah. So, okay, Jeffrey, that raises a great point. Okay. Yes, probably so. Right. In real life, probably so. But it was very fun on TV. So I liked the way that they, it felt unexpected. Like there was an abrupt end to the segment.
Yeah.
They didn't, they just like through to commercial. There kind of wasn't a lot of planned conversation around it. It just went to commercial. They came back from commercial. They aired footage that they said was like a backstage where the cameraman had followed Drew, and it showed him talking to Triple H briefly. And you can kind of hear what they're saying. One of the things that Drew tells Triple H is like, I heard what you said in the press conference, like even you, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's clearly about CM Punk. So then he's leaving, and he leaves, and Adam Pearce is still trying to get him. And Drew's like, it's from the top to the bottom. This guy's got you fooled, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like very clear he's just raging about CM Punk, but then he leaves. And later he goes on to like everything going on online. He's like deactivated his social media accounts. Like the Instagram's gone, the Twitter's gone. I checked the TikTok, and the TikTok is still there, but that's okay. I honestly don't think that the individual WWE stars like run their individual TikToks, but I'm not exactly sure. I just highly doubt it. I just thought that like if they were all run by the company, they would have all been swept. So I thought, oh, maybe those are just like the ones he could do himself, kind of a thing. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Somebody's got the passwords. You know what I mean? Teresa. as a fan,
I
perhaps,
like that.
right?
I like that,
I kind
Teresa.
of like that. I do
I like
actually
that.
like that. It'd be fun if he showed up on Friday. I do actually think that'd be super exciting. But yeah, he just quit. He's like, no, screw this company. I'm out of here.
I might
You
be
know who
going to
else?
Raw next Monday in person. So
Oh,
yeah, I found that out a little bit ago, right before we started recording. So I'm hoping.
fun.
Yeah, right. It's right in my home state. It's like 2 hours away. So I'm
That's
hoping that
exciting.
I'll be at Raw Monday, hopefully. But I know SmackDown is in Chicago this Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
That's right. So I'm
So
with that. I'm with that, Teresa. If it don't happen,
yeah,
it don't happen Friday, it better happen Monday.
yeah, for sure. I think Triple H had a rough night as well.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, I think he had a rough night too, but we'll get there. We'll get there, friends. Um, so yeah, Drew McIntyre just up and quit. Apparently, that is a thing that happened. And then there's so many things. Then there's Chad Gable in the Alpha Academy. Chad
Yes. I
Gable
figured that would
also.
have been well, I figured that would have been your best. I mean, obviously, and so what happened at the end, but
I
like
know. Well,
Otis
it plays into
he
plays
finally
into
had enough, Amanda.
he did. He finally had enough. And I did appreciate that they like the backstage segment that happened after was
Yeah.
very funny. But okay, so there's so much that happened today. Otis is free. Okay, we freed Otis. It seems. I'm wondering if, honestly, with the way that the show ended, I think that that probably makes sense. Like, I do think that's pretty definitive as to what we're doing in the future. Like, I
Yeah.
think there's been an official parting of the ways here. So, um, I'm not sure. Did you expect more? I
I
kind of just
did.
expect him
I
to beat
did.
his ass a little bit
I was
more.
left a little underwhelmed after he finally, because the crowd erupted obviously when he finally
Yeah.
shoved Chad Gable into the corner. But I was hoping for some more, man. Like, dude's bitch slapped you like 10 times, bro, in the last like 3 weeks, and you have
Yeah.
done nothing. So like
Yeah.
that's all you had built up was a shove after all that? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
slapping Tozawa around, like
Yeah.
taking Maxine Dupree's crutches away from her on her bad ankle. Like, he's bullying y'all, and all you did was shove back. Like, nah, you gotta get your lick back. You gotta do a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So I was left a
Great.
little underwhelmed by the retaliation, but still, hopefully there's more to come.
Do you
Because
think that that played into the later storyline? Like, do you think he didn't get a bigger beatdown because of they were already planning for that moment?
I was yeah.
And
It
at
was
the
I
time,
believe
though, I honestly didn't realize because you couldn't know. So,
yeah,
but at the time, yeah, I was super like, oh,
like that's it.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get more next week because Chad Gable has that Money in the Bank qualifying match, which that was a highlight tonight too. All the Money in the Bank
Yes.
qualifying matches started tonight, but Chad Gable gets a shot next week on Raw in a triple threat between him, Braun Strowman, and Bronson Reed. So if Otis doesn't come out and make him lose or something, I'm hoping that there's some kind of advancement, like Chad replaces them quickly with the Creed
Mm.
brothers and Ivy Nile or something. They help him win.
Mhm.
As long as Braun Strowman doesn't win, I'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to see Braun Strowman in the Money in the Bank bottom.
I'm sorry. Like, I
Maybe.
know
I don't
there's
know.
a lot of people. Like, you ever
Okay.
seen them post like, "What wrestling opinion will have you like this?" And it's like a meme of like
Yes.
one person standing against like a billion people.
Ooh,
That's
yes.
mine. I am not a fan of the character, the wrestler character, Braun Strowman. Might be a great guy in person, but I just don't buy into the character. So I'm hoping that we don't. He is literally the only one in that match I don't want to win. I don't want to see Braun Strowman trying to climb a ladder. I'm sorry. Now Bronson Reed would be funny because he's chunky like me. So like it'd be funny. Like I know
Bronson
how I
Reed
would
would be
look.
fun.
I know how I would look trying to climb that ladder. So I imagine it's very similar with our similar builds. So give me one of them trying to climb that ladder.
I would actually really like to see Bronson Reed in that match. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a fun one to have as a total. I want whoever gets that briefcase to be a menace.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the female one as a menace. I don't care. I just want one of those two briefcases to be a just horrible menace for the entire year, and to come out all the time and like all of the title matches and just like make it about themselves. I just would love that. I'd love to see that.
They had the perfect opportunity to do that. And the qualifying match tonight, Kiana James, and then Io Sky won again. And it's like,
Yeah. So we had 2 qualifying matches. They were both triple threats, which I've kind of come to be disappointed by. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like a triple threat, you know what got me back on the bandwagon of I hate triple threats? I think some people just have that as their like set bias. I kind of can take it or leave it, but I would say this Clash at the Castle situation that saw Bianca and Jade lose, and I'm like, oh, okay, I turned against the triple threats again because I don't like, especially in championship scenarios, like I hate when you can lose your title and you didn't even get pinned. Although I understand from a storytelling perspective, it's probably like a nice out because they were protected in the loss and all of that good stuff. So like, I get it. Okay. Dorks, don't come after me on the internet. I don't want to hear it. I get it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I was really hoping too. Cause like another one of my favorite parts tonight was the Braun Breaker, Sheamus and Sami Zayn segment. I really enjoyed that, and I was just really hoping that, like, come on, not another dang triple threat, bro. Like, at first it looked like that was where it was going, but I think we're just gonna get Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. At least I'm hoping, because Sheamus and Braun faced each other for number 1 contenders match, basically for Sami Zayn's IC belt, and Ludwig Kaiser comes out and interrupts the match, ending in a disqualification. So no winner, no clear-cut winner. And beats the crap out of Sheamus, and it ends with Sheamus getting. I think they both got speared, didn't they? They both got Braun Breaker speared. Yeah, Braun Breaker, new IC champ. New IC champ.
I wouldn't hate it. I love Sami Zayn. I'm a known Sami Zayn fan. Okay, but and I didn't necessarily think he would win at Clash. So when he came out tonight and he was like proud of himself for still having the title, I was like, yeah, I'm proud of you too. Like, I am glad you won. But yeah, I would sort of like to see Braun Breaker win, honestly, because Braun Breaker is a complete menace. I appreciate his savagery in the streets. I think that he has no friends, which is something that I love when they have a wrestler that has no friends. I think that's someone who it's like, I don't know what they're actually doing with him. And I don't want to be that cheeseball who says like the dumb thing that everyone makes fun of, but I'm going to say the dumb thing. I think that Braun Breaker has like a Stone Cold-esque appeal about him that he can be doing all the wrong things. And I'm so like, yeah, get it, Braun Breaker. And I don't really, it's kind of different though, because in NXT, I didn't love all of the things he was doing.
I think his babyface run just got stale, but I loved when he became a heel.
I like him as a heel, and I like him as the goofy sidekick to Corbin was my favorite iteration of Braun Breaker. I feel like it like really showed that he kind of had a range as a character. Like the person could be like a little bit silly and didn't take himself so seriously. But I do think that what he's doing right now as sort of like young bad boy, I think they have a nice dynamic too with pitting him against veterans, because you could hear them smack talking in a way, right? Like, and that's something that I've really started to appreciate about. I think that it seems as though the wrestlers have a little more creative freedom to like say a little more things and ad lib a little more things. But by the time you're at the end of the match and Sami Zayn is having like a pull apart brawl with Braun Breaker, and then Sami goes to like start grabbing the prime to throw it at him, they're like really seemingly legitimately arguing, like not, I don't think that they're going to go in the back and get in a shoot fight or whatever, but like there is an element of actual emotion behind what you're seeing. And like, I felt like Sami was like, okay, Punk. Like, I do feel like there was not as in CM Punk, but as in like an age gap situation. I think that as much as the age dynamics are a compelling backstage storyline that everyone likes to read about a lot, I think it would be much more intriguing on the show. And I think that Braun Breaker is probably a really good person, because also similarly to, I guess, Carmelo Hayes is over on SmackDown, right? It's like a same voice of just sort of not hatefully disrespectful, but that okay, like your accolades don't necessarily impress me. Like,
Right.
yeah, and you're old. Like, you know what I mean? You're
I know
30
I
when
was
I was
really
born.
hoping Braun came back after Sheamus, like his best punch, like Sheamus's punchline to him was the new kid. It's like
Yeah.
Braun
It's
should
like,
have been like, "That's
okay.
all you got, veteran? The new
Yeah.
kid? That's the best you got?" Like I was
Exactly.
hoping that Braun got a little bit more spicy with the
Hmm.
retaliation. But yeah, I'm just glad that they're kind of, getting back on the Braun Breaker train after not
Yeah.
putting him in the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
So I still thought that was a mistake not to put him in that in some capacity, but I'm glad that they're bouncing back, and it looks like he's in the line for an IC title shot against Sami Zayn. So fingers crossed on that. But that was
Yes.
definitely a highlight for me tonight.
And in case we didn't even talk about this yet. So you have to see it in video form. We're not going to be able to describe it adequately. So don't click off this window, but in your phone or in a different window, you could look it up. There's a moment where Ludwig Kaiser has got Sheamus smacked down over by the stairs and is about to do his little running gig where he runs and does the kicks. Like, is it a sliding kick?
Yeah.
Basically, right? Yeah. He runs and does like a sliding kick into their head. That's what he did to Giovanni Vinci. It's what he did to Kofi Kingston. Okay. So he's starting to do that. The officials, the referees, they've pulled Braun Breaker away. Braun Breaker sees that Kaiser's about to do this and takes off in a run on the opposite way around the ring. So you have one coming from one side, you have one coming from the other, and then they end up meeting really like the impact is basically in front of the commentary desk. But by the time Kaiser gets around the corner, Braun Breaker just spears him on the way there, essentially like saving Sheamus. I don't think it really. That's the kind of fun thing about Braun Breaker. I don't think he has friends. I don't think he was trying to help
Right.
Sheamus. I think he just like doesn't give an F about Kaiser. So it was kind of it was one of those spots that if that had not been perfectly timed with the cameraman, you know what I mean? If all of the
Mhm.
production elements didn't come together, that would have been a big nothing burger because it would have been like a cool spear, but you've missed like the magic of the moment. I think they
Yeah.
did a really good job of
Yeah. They
capturing.
made sure we seen Braun in the corner running around. Like that was perfect.
Yeah. You really
Perfect.
get like an almost aerial view, and you see Kaiser coming one way, Braun going the other, and then like the actual impact they change to the cameraman who's very close to them. So it's actually
Yeah.
it was just really
And
fun.
for a heel, Braun Breaker is over. Like
Yes.
tons of cheers tonight, tons of the dogs barking.
Yes.
Like I ordered his T-shirt tonight. Like I really don't order WWE
Yes.
merch, but I
Oh.
finally maybe them slam chats are hitting on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Go to
Quote
the
unquote.
YouTube. Can someone send one?
Yeah,
Like
so we can.
really, just like $1. Just like do
Yeah,
it
hit
so
us
I
up.
can see what it
Super
says.
the super chats on YouTube. Head over there
Go to
and
the
support the
YouTube,
channel.
send a little super chat.
Yeah,
Whoever
we'll
sends a
put it.
super chat, I can PayPal back to you if you want.
That's right. We'll
But I'm just
we're
trying
gonna
to.
get some more WWE merch, and we're
Yes,
gonna save up to get Amanda Savage that WWE Women's World title.
that's true.
So let's get it.
Yes, let's
But
get it.
yeah, Braun Breaker is so over right now. The crowd, the WWE universe is behind him. They know he's the future, and this is just getting started. I'm hoping that we are getting what I think we're getting, and that's an IC title shot for Braun Breaker.
Yeah, so good. Okay, slightly forgettable backstage segment. There was like a conversation between Karrion Kross and Xavier Woods. I do think they're scheduled to have a match tonight, and I do think that it must have gotten bumped because I wrote about it yesterday. I thought it was just wasn't
I
it
thought they
Xavier
were supposed
Woods
to have
and
a match.
Karrion Kross,
Yeah,
and then now it's like so. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if Woods is injured or something, or if there's like a backstage reason why that
yeah, because
would
it's
not have
Kofi now,
happened.
isn't it?
Yeah, because now it's switched to Kofi for next week. So
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what they decided to do there, but um, it is also possible that they didn't want to have a million factions and or tag teams breaking up in the same episode because there was definite drama within Judgment Day. There's
yep,
also drama still with Damage Control.
yep,
Even though Io Sky won her qualifying match in the back, she was like, Damage Control needs to change or I'm going to change it.
yep.
So we'll have to see what she has to say. I don't know. What do you think she wants to change?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like I don't know what she wants
maybe
to change.
change. Is she going to change the members of the group?
I don't know. We'll have to find
Like
out.
that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Like if she's just talking about like switching them out for new members for her group, Damage Control. Maybe she just wants, because she's never really felt like the leader, right?
No.
Even when she was champion, it was always Dakota Kai, Bailey, going back obviously when they first started. So like I feel like this is just the tide changing and Io Sky kind of taking over the group instead of Dakota Kai. So maybe it could just be as simple as that, as just Io Sky taking over all the, all the decisions and all the things that Damage Control do in their mood and everything. So
yeah. Okay, I see someone new. I've never seen your name. Hello to Skylar, and that was a crazy ass ending. It was wild. You usually have notes. Is there something else that we should talk about other than?
Yeah, because we're trying to. I know that's probably that's the biggest thing that happened.
Like we'll talk about that for a while, but there's been so much that happened tonight.
Yeah, we already mentioned Damage Control. There really wasn't. The only other thing was before we get to that, we got to talk about the men's qualifying match for the Money in the Bank before we get to Uncle Howdy and the crew.
For sure.
But Jey Uso does get the dub right before. I was relieved, Amanda. I was a little worried, especially when they started with Damian and Finn backstage, like gonna take care of business and, kind of teasing what Finn was going to do if he won Money in the Bank. And he kind of teased Damian and said, I'm going to become champion. Damian's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm champion. Like, how you going to become champion? It's like, cash in on Cody Rhodes. And, obviously changed the mood a little bit. But, like, when they did that backstage, I'm like, they are really not about to do this, are they? Like, come on. Like, the first qualifying match, you're already going to have Jey Uso, who should be the heavily favored to lose. Amanda, you already know how we would have started. I would have been livid. I would have been probably like 20 minutes late to record this because I was still so pissed off that Jey Uso lost the qualifying match.
Yeah.
But they got it. Jey Uso is the first man to qualify for Money in the Bank this year in Toronto, and hopefully we'll grab that briefcase. We'll see who else gets in there. There's no way I'm going against Jey Uso. I've said he's so over right now that there's no way you go against him.
I do not think that I can think of anyone who I want to win it more. I think sometimes there can be compelling arguments for reasons why or whatever, but I just think I think he'd be so fun. And I also think he would be so fun with the Yeet case. The Yeet in the Bank, the Money in the Yeet. I feel like there's so many different weird t-shirts they can sell me. So yeah, I definitely think that it should for sure be Jay, but how we get there, I'm not entirely sure. I'm also, I don't know, all this Drew stuff is pretty compelling. I'm not entirely convinced that CM Punk won't be in the ladder match only because he randomly said, I don't want to be in a ladder match. So at the press conference, he was asked about Hell in a Cell, or like the man, like the interviewer, the person who asked said something about Hell in a Cell. And Punk said, I don't want to be in a Hell in a Cell match. I don't want to be in a ladder match. I don't want to be in any Hell in a Cell match. But it's like he randomly, and I had no idea, like, why did you just mention you don't want to be in a ladder match?
Right.
But I don't know. I have nothing but vibes for that thought. I do hope it's Jay. I genuinely do. Liv, we kind of touched on Liv and Dominic. I don't know if it's like, it's more of the same. Like Liv is like, I think that they're trying to make it seem like Liv is stalking Dominic. That she's like creepy, almost like at the end of their scene together that Damian Priest walked up on, he called her loca. So I don't know if she's loca. I don't know if she's just a pendeja. I don't know if she's just gotten played in the streets and isn't letting it go. I just think that she's sexually harassing Rhea's boyfriend in order to be funny. Like, I don't necessarily think it's all that serious.
Yeah, I mean, I still think this is, while the ending was crazy, this is still the top storyline right now on Raw. Like, I'm all for it. I'm just really happy for Liv, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Let's look at where she was a little over a year ago. Like, I mean, even over before that, like, we literally booed the championship off of her. Like, we just weren't feeling it. The character was getting stale. Her title reign was getting stale, and she really needed a reset. And I hate to call injuries blessing in disguise, but she has the injury, and comes back and with the revenge tour, and it's just been nothing but fire since then. Like, this has been, I don't know if it was being out for so long or if it was getting pulled over and arrested or what it was that said a reset on Liv
Into
Morgan.
the pokey like Dom, so then she's
crazy.
Oh,
I'm loving it.
I feel like I shouldn't have just made fun of that, because genuinely I feel like the different states' laws are so stupid, so it's very confusing. I don't want to. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, Liv is back and she is doing amazing things. I think
we can do that here. It should be legal everywhere. I'm just gonna say
it should be legal everywhere, and I don't think people should be getting tickets or getting pulled over
Agreed.
in places, because I do think that, at least from my understanding, and like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like a cop came up to her car and smelled some marijuana in her car. I think there was like an initial report that he saw her smoking, but I don't think that ended up being actually the case. It's just that someone came up to her car and said they smelled marijuana. So I don't know. I drive my mother on Wednesdays to pick up her marijuana, and sometimes my car smells like marijuana when I'm driving her home, and I'm like, please don't bring your marijuana in my car all the time. But, so things happen. So I don't know. Stand with Liv. Solidarity with Liv Morgan.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's worked because
I'm all about the Liv Morgan revenge tour. It's my favorite revenge tour of all.
I'm loving it. She needed it. She needed the reset, and now she's the top of the women's division right now. So we got to give her some love, because when it was down, we definitely made it known that she was not what we wanted as champion no more. So when she's doing well, we got to credit her for what she's doing.
Yeah, bring that same energy.
That's
when
right.
People have good, positive character shifts, I think we should bring that same energy for sure.
Absolutely.
She's been doing great things. She also brings a really, there's a nuance to her acting that I think is noticeably more like advanced, if that makes sense. When you think about, she's like I always think about the one where she's either getting tapped out by Rhonda or something, and she's like creepily smiling, and it was like, oh, this like could be something, but this is like kind of strange. And now I think she is at that full capacity where it wouldn't feel so strange. I think the things that she's doing with Dom, like, if that was poorly acted, it would be so cringe, and it would be so embarrassing and like not at all interesting. But because she's playing it so well, it's not. I mean, it's still cringe because it's supposed to be, but it's not in the way that people are like, ew, this is dumb. Make this stop. I don't want to see this. It's like she's making Dom uncomfortable, and we're uncomfortable for him is the cringe. Right. So it's good. That's a good kind of cringe. Yeah, that I agree, Jeffrey. It doesn't feel like, I think the best characters in wrestling is when you actually kind of believe this is the person just jacked all the way up, because like I don't think that she's running around being a seductress, but I do think she's like witty and fun, and you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to be the way that the characters used to be in WWE to the way that they can be now. If you really sit down and think about it, even a year ago, but if you go like 2 years ago when I started this job, it is wild how very narrow their scope of focus could be, and kind of like what you would see from a performer versus now, where you can really see a lot more creativity, I think, from them. And something hugely creative that we finally saw occur tonight. It happened. They're here. It's real. It's happening.
It's happening.
It happened. Okay, so Jey Uso, he won his qualifying match. He's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The crowd is going crazy. They're yeeting all over the place. And then the lights turn off. Okay, so we kind of thought, well, we know because there's been a countdown, so we knew what was happening tonight. But I think throughout the show, I mean, I was personally paranoid it was going to happen at any moment. Like, I was having a hard time because I kept thinking like, and then there was a glitch. There was a glitch as Drew was coming out, and I was like, are they going to attack Drew? Like, what is this? Like, oh my God, I feel so bad for my editor, dude. He has to listen to me saying the stupidest possible. Like, oh my God, I just shout out to my boss, man. I'm so sorry. You have like the world's most annoying auntie like harassing you for hours a night. But nevertheless, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna attack Drew. Okay, no, Amanda, they're not. So they finally came out at the end. I do appreciate that. Okay. I don't know the name. I know there's not 6. Where are we here? There was only 5.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just think I don't think they're going to call it Wyatt 6, but I do think that
I feel like Bray Wyatt's the 6th.
Bray was the 6th.
Yeah.
So I think this is the lockdown group. I don't think they're adding more. I think there's been like vague teases, but I think Matt Hardy is just trolly-oly-ol. You know what I mean? I think Matt Hardy's just on a vibe. Like, I think he just likes to stir the pot a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily see them coming and being added to the mix. So, oh, wait. It's officially, that's the name. Oh, okay. Huh. 6.
Yeah. But Bray Wyatt is the 6th because the group is in his memory.
Yeah.
So it's as if he's still with them.
Yeah, I do think that's probably what we're talking about here. So they come out. Well, they don't come out one by one. So the door appears, the same kind of door from when there was the original return of Bray Wyatt. And then out crawls a spooky Nikki Cross.
Loved it.
It was so good. It was very fun that I think the crowd, which makes sense, but just like given the lighting, like, you know, when you go to wrestling, you can kind of tell, like, in your mind as a viewer, when the lights are off, it's black in the arena, and it's not. Like, the people that are there can still see things. Hey, bestie, we're getting into it. We're talking about why it's 6 now. Astrid. It's happening. So Nikki Cross crawls out, and there is kind of like a very audible, like, gasp sort of a sound that came from the crowd, which I think added to the moment. Like, that was so cool because it wasn't, I don't think that the lighting hadn't necessarily shown the viewer Nikki Cross yet, but it was clear that the people in the arena saw her like sneaking out. So they reacted, and then the kind of lighting effect, then we could see it's her. She kind of looks reminiscent to, that girl in the ring.
Yeah.
Looks like that. Definitely she has that kind of a vibe to her. And so she crawled out, and she stands up. And so you get to see like her whole outfit. It's like it's obvious that that's Nikki Cross too, which was nice, you know, like kind of, okay, she's the first one. So she stands up and she points behind her though. And the camera just goes ahead and follows her.
That was my favorite part.
Now what happens? You tell us.
Yeah. I mean, we start going back through the backstage area. There's bodies laying everywhere. There's referees. There's like WWE workers. There's bloody Chad Gable, like, and slowly shows the rest of the members. I mean, I think the next one was, I think the first one they showed in the back was Eric Rowan, and then they showed Gacy, Joe Gacy, I believe, and then Dexter Lumis was next, then Joe Gacy, then Uncle Howdy, in that order, and just going through the back, showing all the dead bodies laying all through the back, and they all come out and join each other on the Titantron, coming out on the Titantron at the, right on the edge of the arena, and they just look out, says we're here, and we finally have gotten the faction we've been waiting on. And I'm so glad that the rumors were true, and we got everybody that were listed, because I was worried that they were just rumors and smoke and mirrors, and we weren't going to get everyone. And Joe Gacy was the key for that. I was really hoping that he was going to be involved in this, because while I love Dexter Lumis, while I love Eric Rowan, he's coming back, love Uncle Howdy, love Nikki Cross, obviously getting a new character, Joe Gacy for me was the key to this, because this is pretty similar to a character he's been playing on NXT since I've started watching NXT. So I think he's going to be a big key for this puzzle. So I was really glad that Joe Gacy was involved in this, and we finally got it. We're here. I've been waiting, and the WWE nailed that tonight. Like, just when they went into the back area and just showing all these dead bodies, the smoke, like, I'm a horror movie guy, so for me,
Mm-hmm.
like I was hooked, like
Yes.
hooked.
Yes. It was, I don't think I can decidedly say that in the last, so I've been doing this almost 3 years. Like I watch wrestling every single day, write about wrestling every single day. There has been these moments that take me out because they are compelling and interesting, but I don't think there's been any other storyline driven moment that I felt that I had the actual like gasp, like,
Yeah.
whoa, shit, that you do when you watch other dramas and like when you're looking at, I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of shenanigans. Like, I don't know what their critiques are, but I didn't see anything there that was more supernatural or whatever than any episode of Fargo. I mean, sometimes Fargo gets so down a rabbit hole of spooky stuff that it's like,
Mhm.
oh, this isn't even a show for me anymore. But like, there was a very clear moment where it felt like you were not watching professional wrestling. Like it
No.
wasn't, if you showed just the end clip to somebody who doesn't know anything about WWE, and with the exception of perhaps the huge WWE logo and gorilla, you would not know that that is what you were watching at all.
No.
It was stunningly shot. I think everything is someone's job. So, like, I'm big on that. I just think there's someone who had to be in charge of putting all that fog. There's somebody who had to stress out about, do we have enough solution for the fog machine? What if it runs out? I didn't get enough. I mean, every piece of that was probably incredibly intense. And we do know that they would have had to really flip the set dressing because we saw Triple H and Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce. Like, we've seen the backstage area tonight already. So it's not as though it was staged at the beginning of the show. I mean, unless it was sneakily shot, I would have to go back and look. But they had the TVs in Gorilla were broken. They had the logos on them. There was fake blood everywhere. By the time you get around the corner and you see Chad Gable, it looks like someone shot Chad Gable in the damn head. It's not, but like your first kind of the visual you see is like, oh, what? Someone shot Chad Gable in the head.
Mhm.
And so it didn't. It just looks like blood. But what was also fun is the way that the smoke and the lighting was behind Uncle Howdy. I felt it looked like he was levitating. I thought it looked really cool. It looked like he
Yes.
was floating there. And then he kind of picks up and you're coming with him basically. So then now you're going backwards out of the backstage area and he kind of collects each of the characters. I don't know if it'll, I mean, I'm assuming I'm right. Like, I do think that they were supposed to be like inspired characters. So I think the Dexter Loomis is like a Mercy the Buzzard inspired character.
Yeah.
I think the Joe Gacy is like
Sister
the
Abigail.
Huskus. Yeah, the Abby the Witch, and then the Ramblin' Rabbit.
Yeah.
I actually thought of the costumes. I love costumes. Like I love the costuming, especially in WWE. And so this is wild because the complicated costuming to go into then ring gear will be very fun to see because I don't think some of the elements, like how much can continue when they're actually needing to do dynamic movements. So I remember Uncle Howdy doing some in-ring moments and I was like, how the hell are they leaving that hat on? Like, how
Right.
is this? You know what I mean? Like, how's he going to be able to do anything? And this, like, I think he had a trench coat on at one point. I was just like, how's he going to do this? So the costuming aspect will be really funny or like fun to see how that translates into actual in-ring work. But I thought I thought Eric Rowan's whole getup, like I thought that costume was so, I'm gonna swear, it was so fucking cool. I was like, this is it. Like that visual of just when they come behind, and someone else just said, one of the besties thought that it was Mello. It kind of looked like Carmelo Hayes was one of the bodies on the ground. I don't know. I kind
Really?
of thought I saw Mello's hair. Somebody else said it too. I thought it was, honestly, it was either Jeffrey or, oh yeah. Yeah. I thought that one of the guys in front of Eric Rowan, there was like a pile of 3. And the way, like, just the way the light went over it, the only one I could recognize was, I thought it was Mello, but I wasn't positive either. So that's interesting that someone else
I'm gonna
had
go
it.
back and watch that part.
Yeah, it was just so, I didn't even realize. I mean, I did, but I didn't. That is good.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. They
oh,
would Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt
oh.
smiling down tonight for sure.
That was good shit. And I will
Yeah.
argue if you want to send in a super chat because you didn't like it, you can give me $5 and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah, there
Because
it
you're
is.
wrong.
There it is. I don't know how anybody could have watched that and not liked it. There's no way. Like that's
So good.
literally segment of the year. Like how are you going to top that? Like in terms of the
Mm-mm.
production behind that, like nobody, even
Oh, it's
WWE's
so
not
good.
going to top that. Like there's
No.
nobody's topping that. Like tonight was, and
Mm.
I was when Jey Uso won the match, and it was like 6 minutes until the end of the show. I'm like, well, all kids, shut up, shut up.
Yeah.
You know,
Seriously, it's
like
happening.
everybody shut the hell up. This is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for. And then the lights, like that was it too. Like it wasn't just what actually happened with the reveal of the
Yeah.
group. It was the transition into
Yes.
like literally the crowd's going crazy. Jey Uso's in the
Yeah.
crowd, doing his thing. And then it's just like a smooth transition seamlessly. Lights go out, and then everybody starts lighting up again. And then the music starts just perfectly executed. This
Oh,
group has been teased for so long.
mhm.
So they had to go big with the reveal of this group. And I think
Yeah.
they went above and beyond with this
Yes.
reveal.
Yeah. It was not only as good as I could have imagined it to be, like, I didn't
Mhm.
have a lot of thoughts going into it, I didn't know what this would be. I was sort of vaguely frightened that it was just gonna be like a vignette. I don't know
Mhm.
why, I don't know if I read something. I thought I saw something where they were filming over the past weekend, and I was like, "It's just gonna be a video?" Like, I don't wanna see a video, I wanna see the actual human. So far beyond exceeded the expectation. I didn't know what to expect, but whatever this was way, way, way more than that. Um, I I just can't say enough good things about
Yeah.
how the production quality has completely and not even you cannot pull off a change in a company that quickly unless there were already a whole host of people who were
Mhm.
very, very, very talented and just kind of not being able to be as talented as they are, right? I
Yeah.
mean, this
Yeah.
is not they didn't hire a brand new production squad in the last 6 months. These are not all brand new people. These are the same WWE staff who've been there and who've been able to be making the show that we watched 2 years ago, but we're always capable of making the show we're watching today. And that's really very exciting. Just from like a what could we expect to see in the future perspective, I think this opens a lot of doors in an entertainment capacity that I don't think we ever think about as wrestling fans. But then when they're here, we're like, oh, wow, that was nice.
Yes. And
You
so
know?
the first question, like you said, as we look in the future with this group, where do they go from here? So
Yeah.
who tries to stop them?
Or who
Because
do
like
they
they
target? I mean,
clearly,
I
yeah,
just,
and like who are they going to go after next? I mean, if random people like Carmelo on Monday Night Raw is in there,
yeah.
from SmackDown, he's on Raw in the in the backstage area. If that's true, like I imagine that there is a particular group of people that they're looking after to attack next, and so like eventually someone's going to step up and be like, "Look, y'all can't just come here and just keep attacking us," and you know so like I'm looking forward to seeing who they feud with too.
Do you think that they are particularly going to go after Chad Gable
Mm.
because A, like the bullying aspect,
Mm.
they're like fighting on behalf
Mm.
of the cast aside or the bullied, right? But then additionally, the math stacks because you have if you end up having even you have like Creed brothers and Ivy Nile are like trying to help you kind of you don't have to have them be entirely heelish. It could be another one of those kind of stories like Drew and Punk where it just depends on which side or perspective you're taking. Like
Yeah.
you could make a compelling argument for why either one of these side of teams is doing what they think is right. But I would just imagine it has to be something with a similar like numbers or like affiliation, because I just don't see them going like, oh, Nikki Cross, now you're feuding with Dakota Kai, and Eric Rowan is feuding with Dominic. Like I think it will probably be something that's like at least interconnected in a way. Yeah, I think an agenda.
Yeah.
I think we kind of have a lot of there's motivations, and like we've seen a lot of these things, a lot of the clues. I don't know how deep you guys got into those damn clues. I feel like during Clash of the Castle, I was like, could they have done this at the end of the show? Like they really just dumped every extra clue on me. I'm over here clicking, highlighting and clicking blank spaces because blank spaces were clicking into stuff. It was wild. There was so many things. I do think that lore kind of goes deep. And I do think it'll be unfurled over time. So I don't think it's something that we're necessarily like next week we're going to have an agenda. MD says something interesting. Just maybe. That backstage area was so
that'll work for a few weeks. Chaos will work for a few weeks. But like after that, we need some kind of
there does need to be like a substantive feud or like a purpose for why the chaos is occurring. So
you don't want to do that too much, and then people are gonna start. People are already negative about tonight's Raw somehow. So like you already know people are gonna be negative, going down the negative train already. Like, oh, this is why you brought them back to just randomly attack people. Like I can already see the people on the internet already saying stuff like that. But that'll work for a few weeks though. I would say pretty much all the way until Money in the Bank. Just let them fuck shit up. Just attack everyone and make their presence known. And then finally, in a few weeks, someone steps up like, look, you can't just keep doing this. We need to know why. Or they even if someone doesn't step up to them, they come out and actually say something, right? And say why. Like Jeff said, say why they're here and why are they doing this. So yeah, I'm with this. This is gonna take over. For like I tweeted this earlier too, Amanda, and this is the first time I've said this. Monday Night Raw is finally the best weekly wrestling show.
It is
taken over.
I told my editor too, I think Raw's my favorite. Yep. Usually it's NXT.
NXT has been my favorite for a couple years.
I don't know. I think Raw's my favorite now.
Raw is too fire. It has the best storylines right now, the best feuds. I mean, I was really hoping that we got Uncle Howdy's new faction, and we got it. There's so much more excitement on this show, more than any other show right now.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
Tonight's Raw was so good.
It makes our show more exciting too.
It really does. It really does. Did anybody super chat? I swear to God, if my phone wasn't dead, I'd be super chatting myself. Somebody super chat. I just want to see what it does. I'm scared that it's doing something and I just don't see it. And then like I'm ignoring. I don't know. I was a mod on Wrestle Talk, so I know the back end. I don't know what it looks like to the cute people on the front of the camera.
And if you do have any thoughts on tonight before we get out of here, I know it's getting towards the end. If you want to get some final thoughts, send the comments in. I know we're live, YouTube, super chats. We're on Twitch, we're on X, Twitter, we're on Facebook. We're on all of it. So send those comments in and let us know what you thought of the show tonight.
We're everywhere. I think it's getting really good.
So what's the best weekly show, MDB? If you don't think Raw is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let us know. Let us know what your favorite is. It's Collision, isn't it? I'm just kidding.
Ugh.
I enjoy a little Saturday moment. There you go. That's kind of fun. I saw you here, Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
I love Matthew. Amanda rocks.
Well, yeah, no, he said hi to me too, but I just wanted to put the one about you because I do also agree with it. Okay. Or, yeah, he said hi, Amanda. It's okay.
Amanda rocks too.
Yeah, it's good.
We both rock together every Monday night.
Yeah, see, he said hi to me.
I
saw you, Matthew. I saw you say hi. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Matthew.
Let's see. Oh, don't do that. It's too much of. Don't move, Amanda. Oh, you were at the first episode of Collision. That's funny.
Nice.
That's cute. No, yeah, I was just joking, but yeah, that's fun. I rewatched the first 10 minutes of that today randomly, and yeah, my personal life has changed a lot in a year. So
Same.
the person who was watching the debut of Collision versus the person who was watching the same exact promo, it hit completely differently, to be honest. It was like night and day. So it was fascinating. I think wrestling is a fun time capsule too, of like, just like any show. I don't know if you have that where you have like seasons of shows that were going through something at like the same time of your life. Like I really love the second
100%.
season of The Office. Was
Yes.
like
Ooh,
a nice
yeah.
time of my life. Like I
Oh,
was
yeah.
very young,
Classic.
carefree. NXT. Are you the one that said? Who said it? They didn't. Which one was it?
MDB said he don't know about all that when we said Raw's the best show.
Oh yeah, no.
We asked him.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
NXT is fire. I agree. And if I was really upset by that tonight, MDB, Kiana should have won that match. I love Io Sky. She is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And Amanda knows that. But Kiana James should have won that match tonight. They just drafted her up. They had the perfect opportunity to highlight her because Io Sky is not going to win again.
I don't think so.
So, like, give me some new. That would have instantly made a splash, kind of like what they did with Lyra when they had her go all the way to the final for Queen of the Ring. It made her a big deal, made her instantly important. And Kiana James has done nothing since being called up. And that would have been the perfect opportunity to have her win that match tonight. She shined. She did great moves. And then Io won again. Like, I don't know. I get it. She's the top star. So returning, have her in there. But Kiana James should have won that match tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just want her to have I felt like her storyline was so fun and good on NXT, and sometimes when they make
they called her up. Like,
yeah, I don't know if she needs a
She should have been in that ladder match.
Yeah,
for the NXT Women's North American title, she should have been in it.
I think she's fun with a sidekick too, so I don't know who they need to like, but I think she really shined when it was she and Izzy Dame, because then they're both being bitches to people.
Yeah, I know. They found a perfect match for her.
Yeah.
To team with her and then called her up right away. It's like,
yeah. So
don't
like,
get us started. NXT is our show too. We love NXT.
We do love NXT. There will be an NXT review tomorrow. I watch it when I'm finishing my stories.
Right.
We sometimes have different opinions, but it's okay. That might be, I didn't even think of that, to be honest. That's probably.
Why couldn't they both be in it? Like,
why not?
I mean, give me both of them.
What do you think's happening with Becky Lynch?
To be honest, I think Tiffany's gonna win it. Honestly, I do.
You think Becky will be back?
No.
Ever?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, in life.
I thought you were asking by Money in the Bank. Like,
no, not by Money in the Bank.
No.
I would be so surprised. I hope she's almost not even SummerSlam. I hope she gets like a lot of time off.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be nice to have she just deserves some time off.
Yeah.
But then it sort of, I don't know. Now Seth's back. I just like it when they can have vacations. Like when I know there's a couple, and sometimes you'll have weeks where it's like, oh, Bianca and Montez just disappeared from TV for 2. It's like, oh, I hope they're together, So, okay, well, maybe that's just me. I think about the humans behind the characters a lot. MD says Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's about
probably a very good bet. That's a good bet. Well, besties, this was such a banging episode. I feel like we could talk about it for another 3 hours after the 3-hour episode. Because you know what? I am gonna go rewatch that shit because it was good.
I am too. I want to see Mello.
Yeah, no,
I want to see if Mello's there.
Yeah, and then whoever said, and then they said that the cornrows gave it away. So I do think I think it maybe was Mello. I don't know, but I wonder who the other 2 were, because there was 2 bodies. It was 3 men like laying on top of each other, because that's what I saw at first. I was like, what? And that was before they kind of even had any reveal that there'd been backstage violence. There was really just smoke. You couldn't really see much. I am so excited. Affirmations with Amanda. Let me tell you what your affirmations are for today. Let me tell you. This is a Wyatt 6 inspired motivation affirmation. Just like you are allowed to like what you like, boo. If you like the stupidest stuff, please join me. Join the besties. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I love trash. Like, I do not try to have good wrestling opinions. I love cheesy cornball, wild cattery, soap opera, shenanigans. And then also there's wrestling matches that occur as well. And if you really just love wrestling and you do not care about all this other stuff, that's cool too. I love that people are so passionate. I love that people have big opinions, but I also think that we should feel empowered to always kind of let our own individual freak flag fly, if you will. So after you watch a wrestling show, if you see that online other people are just sipping on the haterade regarding what you loved, you don't have to make a public statement. I just want you in that moment to know that you are seen, you are heard, you are understood. Because if you thought something was cool or funny or cute and other people are trashing it, there's like a 99.9% chance that I loved it. So you should know that. And you can come back here next week and tell me what it is. Because honestly, there's a lot of wrestling that goes on in a week's time. But we just want this to be as collaborative as possible and interactive. So always come back. Let us know. Let us know how your week went. Let us know what things you thought of over this time. And send in the super chats because I want to see what it does. I just want to see what it does. Okay. So very good. You guys take good care. You have a great rest of your week. Do not have nightmares of Nikki Cross crawling out from underneath your bed and grabbing your feet and pulling you into an underworld that's helmed by all of those characters. Good night.
Peace and love, everybody. Monday Night Besties out.
What do I